stand between me and my holy destiny.
Frig off.
Who does this fool think he is? Randy from Trailer Park Boys?
The park is a complete mess.
Frig off, Burb.
Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2020 film Psycho Goreman, directed by Steven Kostanski. So, a young brother and sister, Mimi and Luke, they're digging in their backyard and they accidentally dig up and resurrect this ancient evil killer alien, Psycho Goreman. And they find this gem that enables them to control him and keep his killer urges at bay. So they're kind of having some fun with them. Everything is going well for the most part, but then these other aliens get word that Psycho Goreman has been resurrected and they come back to Earth and try to kill him. One thing that I absolutely loved about this movie was the comedy. I really liked the comedy between the brother and the sister. Basically, Mimi would just constantly talk shit to Luke, and it was the funniest thing ever. I mean, she had jokes. Like, she was just always messing with her brother. And there's this one instance where she would, like, ate all her food, and her brother had, like, barely touched his plate, and she's like, "You've had enough, fat, so give me your food. The champion needs to eat." So she would just, steal her brother's food. She would call him numbnuts. She would just constantly make fun of her brother, and it was the funniest thing ever. Another aspect of the movie that was really funny was Psycho Goreman himself. He was just absolutely evil, and it was fun, like the dynamic where he was interacting with these happy-go-lucky little kids. Like at one point in the movie, Mimi and Luke, they bring their friend to meet Psycho Goreman, and he, like, when they're leaving, he's like, "Hey, it was nice meeting you." And then Psycho Goreman's like, "It would be nicer if you were dead." Like, he's just so evil. He's so just matter of fact. Like, just he's just about killing. Like, he's just like so serious and mean, and it's just like a fun dynamic seeing him talk with the kids. And the last thing that I'm going to point out that I thought was really funny is every time Psycho Goreman would get into a story and try to talk about his past and kind of like the mythos behind him, the little kids would always cut him off mid-story.
I remember during the battle on the Bridge of Souls.
I got it! Here's the new plan. 6 hours for making, and we push upside down karaoke to Sunday.
That it was hilarious. That was great stuff. Moving on to another thing that I really liked. I really liked the fact that this movie blended so many different elements and so many different genres. It was an extremely gory horror film. It had a ton of sci-fi elements. It was like a family-friendly kid movie. I mean, not with all, like, there was like a lot of swearing and gore, but it was like a lighthearted, wholesome family movie. Like, the movie was all over the place. It really kept me on my toes. And on paper, it should not have worked, but I feel like it totally worked, and it was super fresh, innovative, and interesting. And speaking of, the sci-fi elements and all the creatures, the creature effects, the practical effects were great. There were so many different aliens and monsters, and I mean, Psycho Goreman himself looked awesome. The character design for him was great, but it was cool seeing all these other aliens. It was all practical, and like I said, the gore effects were good too. So speaking about the gore effects, the practical effects, like the kills in this movie were top notch. It was so splattery. There were so many decapitations. The kills did not disappoint. So there was really not much that I disliked about this movie, but if I do have to pick one dislike, I would say it's the color grading in a lot of the daytime shots. A lot of the daytime shots have this very gray look, and for some reason it did not look good to me. And a lot of times when lower budget movies do too much color grading, I feel like it makes them look a little bit cheaper. Like in the first Terrifier, I love that movie. I think it's a phenomenal horror film, but the color grading in that kind of makes it look cheaper. That's kind of how I felt with a lot of the daytime shots in this. They had this like gray look, and it kind of, I wish the look was like a little bit sharper. And I do think the way that they color graded a lot of the daytime shots did make it look a little bit cheaper. So there were so many great kills in this movie, it's hard to pick a favorite. But if I had to pick one favorite kill, I'm going to have to go with this double decapitation. So Psycho Goreman goes to this random warehouse and there's some scummy guys, and he just grabs two of the guys' heads and just decapitates them by just forcefully ripping their heads off.
But not today.
And it's just it's a spectacle. It's splattery. There's blood squirting. It was gory. It was brutal. That had to be my favorite kill. It was a marvelous kill. So in terms of a rating, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I absolutely loved this movie. I thought it was great for horror fans, great for sci-fi fans. The comedy was on point. It had such an interesting, unique premise. This movie was phenomenal. So I'm going with a 9 out of 10. So that's been my review of Psycho Goreman. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.